Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Welcome to our last class, and today is our 14th class. And in our 14th lecture, we're going to review the major points and lessons that we have covered and learned during the whole semester, from class number 1 to class number 13. We will cover the major points, and hopefully that you're going to find this review very helpful for your final test. At the beginning of this semester, we have talked about the major and the main parts of an essay. And we said that one of the major parts of essay, English essay, is the introductory paragraph. And we said that the introductory paragraph has two parts, general statement and thesis statement. With the general statement, we introduce the general topic of the essay, and we try to capture the reader's interest. And with the thesis statement, we state the specific topic. We may list the subtopics or subdivisions of the main topic. We may also indicate the pattern of organization of the essay, and the thesis statement is normally the last sentence in the introductory paragraph. Also, we have talked about the four different models of introductory paragraph, and we have given actually many examples. An example for each one, for each model of these introductory paragraphs. We've talked about a funnel introduction, where we start from a large statement and then we narrow down the discussion. And if you remember this shape, you will actually understand that this is what we call a funnel introduction. Then we have discussed the dramatic, interesting, or funny story introduction. Also, we have talked about surprising, statistics, or facts introduction. And at the end, we have also discussed the historical background introduction. Please go back to the first classes and you will find many examples related to this slide. So right here I'm just summarizing what or reviewing what we have taken in this class, and try to be a writer and try to write a funnel to introduction. And I want you in this class, I think the first or the second class, I wanted you here to be able, what I want is to be able to differentiate between these different models of introductory paragraph. If someone asks you, what kind of introductory paragraph do you have? You should be able to say either funnel, dramatic, surprising, or historical background introduction. In one of also our major topics was the thesis statement, and we gave a very different definitions, a very wide or many definitions to the phrase thesis statement. And we said, in short, that the thesis statement is the sentence that tells the main idea of the whole story, of the whole essay. It can be compared to a topic sentence, which gives the main idea of a paragraph. لاحظوا في عندنا thesis statement, it gives you the main idea of the whole essay. Like in a topic sentence, it gives you the main idea of a paragraph. It usually comes at or near the end of the introductory paragraph. هذا بنحكي عن thesis statement وين تيجي بموقعها. Also, we have talked about the how to make a strong thesis statement, how to write a strong thesis statement, and we have talked about the following points. We said that a thesis statement gives the author's point of view, state an important idea about the topic. It should give an idea that can be discussed and explained without supporting ideas, with supporting ideas. For example, here we're given examples. The qualifications for getting into university in my country are unreasonable. This is a very strong statement, and you can discuss it. Why it is unreasonable, and how, and what makes it unreasonable. A thesis statement should not, and we said that a thesis statement should not be a sentence that only gives a fact about the topic. أنا ما بدي حقيقة. In the northern hemisphere, the summer months are warmer than the winter months. So what? We need something to discuss. This is not a strong thesis statement. It cannot be argued about. It cannot be discussed. A thesis statement should not, حكينا, state two sides of an argument equally. There are advantages and disadvantages to using nuclear power. This could be a topic sentence, but it is not a thesis statement. It gives two sides of an argument without giving a clear opinion of support or disagreement. So you need either to support or to disagree with something. And you need to support your discussion, whether you agree or disagree, with supporting details, either facts or examples or some proofs. Okay? لاحظوا هذه الجملة مثلا. لما حكينا these, although there are some advantages, using nuclear power has many disadvantages and should not be part of our country's energy plan. الآن في موضوع. This is a strong thesis statement, and it clearly gives the writer's point of view. The writers say that we should not have a nuclear weapon in our country. So he's going to explain why and how and why he's thinking this way, and from where these ideas come from. So we have something to discuss. For example, if I say, well, the moon actually goes around the sun. Okay, so what? So this is a fact. You cannot agree or disagree, or you cannot discuss in an essay or argue about facts, because you cannot change anything in them. Okay? We need to hear your own opinion. After we have covered the introductory paragraph, we've talked also about the body paragraph, اللي هو جسم الإساي. أول شيء بيجي عندنا الانترودكتوري المقدمة ثم الجسم القصير المقال. The body paragraph in an essay are like the supporting sentences in a paragraph. They are the place to develop your topic and prove your points. You should organize your body paragraph according to some sort of pattern. وهذا ما حكينا عنه مسألة chronological order, logical division, and comparison and contrast, or both. Okay? Logical division of ideas, حكينا this is a very basic pattern for an essay. In this pattern, you divide your topic into subtopics and then discuss each subtopic in a separate paragraph. وأخذنا أعتقد في الواجب في الواجبات التي أعطيتكم إياها في نهاية المحاضرة عن هذه المسألة. We have taken 2 or maybe 3 exercises regarding the logical division of ideas. So I want you to understand them. Okay? Also, we had also some advices that how can we avoid thesis statement pitfalls. We have pitfalls sometimes. We actually mistakenly, maybe wrongly, write an essay. A thesis statement للعلم is the most important sentence in your essay. So you need to pay attention to your thesis statement. You need to avoid the following problems. The first problem is you need to avoid the thesis statement if it is too general. You need to avoid general or too general thesis statement. مثلا college education is a good investment. هذا تعميم. It cannot be a thesis statement. لكن لو حكيت a college education is a good investment for 4 reasons, now you have your opinion. You're going to mention 4 things. You're going to mention 4 reasons. And these 4 reasons come from you. And you need to convince me how the education or the college education is good using these 4 reasons. So you need to support your reasons. Now, if I ask you, how many subtopics do you have? How many paragraphs in this sentence? Now, if you write in your thesis statement, a college education is good investment for 4 reasons, how many paragraphs or body paragraphs do you expect? I'm expecting 4 body paragraphs, because in each body paragraph you will talk about 1 reason. 1 paragraph, 2 paragraph, 3 paragraph, 4 paragraph, then equals 4 reasons. Here we have another example. Lasers are very useful. Well, sometimes they are not. Right? They are not useful. So you are too general. You need to improve your thesis statement in this case. You can say lasers have several applications in industry and medicine. So now you're narrowing your thesis statement. You're talking about the uses of lasers in industry and medicine. So that was the first pitfall. The second pitfall, if the thesis statement making a simple announcement. مثلا في كثير من الناس بيكتبوا I am going to write about sport injuries, I'm going to talk about something. This is actually a very weak thesis statement. This is an announcement. Instead of saying I'm going to write about sport injuries, you can say avoid sport injuries by taking a few simple precautions. In your body paragraphs, you are going to talk about these few simple precautions. Even the third pitfall is the thesis statement. If your thesis states, if your thesis states an obvious fact, يعني مثلا the internet is a communication superhighway. This is fact. It cannot be a thesis statement. There is nothing new. Where is your point of view? Everybody knows that the internet is a communication superhighway. But you can say, instead, the explosion of the internet has had both positive and negative consequences. الآن بنحكي عن 2 sides. عارفين إنه the writer is going to talk about the positive consequences. After that, he's going to talk about the negative consequences. Also, during the semesters, we have discussed some of the transition signals for the logical divisions of ideas. If you remember the last 3 classes, when we have talked about the commas and the semicolons and the conjunctive adverbs and the conjunction coordinators, we have talked about the transition signals. The transition signals, and these transition signals for logical division essays include will help you to divide your essay logically. These transition signals help you to make your essay more economic, more clear, more organized, because you're talking about first step, second, third, and fourth, and so on. Okay? So please try to go back to the 12th class and try to understand these transition words and how can we use them. And remember, after transition words, we should put a comma. As you can see, first, in addition, and finally. So these transition words function as tools writer use to move from one paragraph into another smoothly without any interruption. The third part of the essay was the concluding paragraph, the conclusion. وحكينا إنه conclusion is your last chance to make your point of view. The conclusion consists of a summary of the main points. حكينا أو إنها تكون a restatement of your thesis in different words, or your final comment on the subject based on the information you have provided. إذا ممكن هي مش تكون summary، ممكن تكون comment. And sometimes, if you remember some of our exercises, I've asked you what kind of a conclusion we have. عندنا summary, ولا عندنا restatement, ولا final comment. And sometimes some of the essays, they don't have a conclusion, right? These are some of the phrases, transition, we call them also transition signals that we use to conclude an essay. During the semester also, we have also talked about what is essay outlining. And we said an outline is a general plan of what you're going to write. It's just like when you build a house. Before one begins to build a house, it is best to draw up plans to make sure that a house is built in the way you want. The same thing with the essay. Here, for example, this is a kind of a sample of how can we outline our essay. This is a very simple example. You need to put it like this way. Introduction, your thesis, you have general thesis statement, you have also the thesis statement, then you have in the thesis statement, it decides how many body paragraphs you will have. In each body paragraph you should have a topic sentence. لأنه حكينا thesis statement هي المين idea for the whole essay. بينما topic sentence هي المين idea for one body paragraph. For each body paragraph there is topic sentence. And for each topic sentence there is supporting ideas. Supporting ideas ممكن تكون facts, ممكن تكون examples, ممكن تكون details, and so on. أيضا إذن هذا الoutline very simple. Introduction. The introduction decides how many body paragraphs we will have, and then the conclusion. In the conclusion أنت either you summarize the main points اللي ذكرتهم 1 2 3 you summarize them, أو you restate the thesis statement. يعني أنت بتعيد الثيسيس statement اللي ذكرتها وبتربطها بالأدلة اللي وضعتها هنا لكن بكلمات أخرى. أو you give your comment, just a suggestion. ممكن تعطي اقتراح لحل مشكلة معينة. So we have 3 different ways to conclude our essays. And also we have talked about the process of making an outline. In a formal outline, sometimes we use normal numerals, and it's not a must to follow these, but what usually do that we use normal Roman numerals to present the paragraphs, like this one, this one. Also, we have talked about the process essay, a practice, and do you remember this class? The elements of that lecture was the cause and effect essay. we said the process essay is a description of a procedure, a step-by-step analysis and explanation of a process. And you are the expert, and the organization of the essay is governed by chronological order. So it should be the easiest essay to write for you. When you put it in a chronological order, it's going to be easier for you. And this actually is related to the logical division, which we have discussed at the beginning. And here some of the chronological order signal words. هذا نفس العبارات اللي أخذناها في مسألة logical division. أيضا تحدثنا عن ال cause effect essay، وهذا different type of essays. حكينا cause and effect depends on each other. You cannot have one without the other. A plane crashed مثلا. That is the effect. What are the possible causes? What is a mechanical or human error? Was it due to the weather? Was it a terrorist action? Obviously, there are many possible causes. So for each cause, there is an effect. And for each effect, there is a cause. هذه ما نسميها cause effect essay. حكينا إنه the cause effect essay have two different organization. We have something called the block organization. في البلوك organization في عندك introduction، بعدين في البody paragraph. In each body paragraph you mention one cause, second cause, third cause. الآن these are the causes. If you want to also mention the effects of these causes, you need a transition paragraph. شو هي the transition paragraph? The transition paragraph helps you to connect the previous paragraphs. Actually, it ends what we have discussed in the previous paragraphs, and it starts and gives you the chance to start the following paragraph. So it is both an end of a paragraph and a start of another paragraph. So here we talk about the causes. To talk about the effects of these causes, you need to have a transition paragraph. Also, we have talked about these different forms of block organization. You can go back to that class and try to to remember what we have talked in the recorded classes. Just watch the recorded classes and try to do more exercises on that. Also, we have talked about the chain organization. In the chain organization, simply cause, تذكر أول شيء cause, then you mention the effect. Cause, effect, cause, effect. وهنا في هذا الترتيب ما أنت مو بحاجة إلى مسألة transition paragraph. أيضا تحدثنا عن comparison and contrast essay. What are comparison and contrast essay? And also we have talked about their organization. Compare things is something we do every day when we have to make decisions. For example, you might think of similarities or differences when you are buying a new MP3 player or choosing a place to study English. You need to evaluate two sides of an issue. You have to study it in a class or two proposals for research or projects at your workplace. In these cases, you will need to write an essay or report to discuss your ideas about the topic. This is what we call a comparison and contrast. Similarity, we compare similarities, but when we mention differences, here we are talking about contrast. وحكينا مثل مسألة الكوز and effect essay organization. نفس الشيء في عندنا an organization for the comparison contrast essay. Okay, حكينا إن the body of the essay can be organized in many ways. واحدة point by point organization، والثانية البلوك organization مثل ما شفناها قبل قليل. تحدثنا أيضا عن ال clauses. And we've talked about noun clauses and verb clauses, adjective clauses. وحكينا إنه clauses are the building blocks of a sentence. وحكينا clauses, they should have a subject and a verb. Okay? And we said that a clause is a group of words that contains at least subject and a verb. وحكينا إنه there are two kinds of clauses, independent or dependent. حكينا independent clause, it has a full meaning by itself. لكن dependent clause, it's meaningless without a without a complement. حكينا independent clause contains a subject and a verb and expresses a complete thought. It can stand alone as a sentence by itself. With dependent clause, حكينا, begins with a subordinate such as when, while, if, that, or who, and it doesn't express a complete thought, so it is not a sentence by itself. طبعا كل هذه subordinators حكينا وشرحناها بالتفصيل في المحاضرة رقم 12. أيضا تحدثنا عن 3 different types of sentences. تحدثنا عن simple sentence اللي بيكون فيها subject, one subject و one verb, مثل I live in San Francisco. تحدثنا عن compound sentences اللي contains 2 independent clauses are joined by a coordinated conjunction. She works in the city. She lives in the suburbs. لاحظوا هذول جمل مستقلة، لو ما وضعن على حدة لكانت الجمل لها معنى مستقل عن الأخرى، لكن ربطت ب coordinating conjunction but، ولا تنسوا إنه في كان عندنا comma. وتحدثنا أيضا عن complex sentences، وحكينا بأنه complex sentences contains one independent clause and one or more dependent clauses. In a complex sentence, حكينا, one idea is generally more important than the other. We place the important idea in the independent clause and the less important idea in the dependent clauses. حكينا how can we use complex sentences with adverb clauses, with adjective clauses, and with noun clauses. In the last 3 classes, we have also talked about parallelism, and we discussed together what is a parallelism and what does it mean. And at the beginning, we have given you these 2 examples to show you the idea of parallelism. We said that we wanted to cook and to go swimming is not parallelized. Why? Because here we have infinitive and then we have gerund. The correct form is as the following: to cook, to swim. أو she wanted cooking and swimming. They should have the same structure. Parallelism means that we should have same structures. How can we make a parallel structure? حكينا, we use parallel structure with elements joined by coordinating conjunction. وحكينا عن مسألة الفان بويز اللي هي استخدام and, or, so, yet, but, and we talked about how these fan boys connect words together, phrases together, and clauses together. And here we have a list of the fan boys, the function of each one, and examples. If we for example, look at here, John likes to fish and to hunt. To fish and hunt. Fish and hunt are verbs. So and is a conjunction or coordinating conjunction that join 2 verbs together. She doesn't eat meat nor does she drink. Doesn't eat, لاحظوا في هنا عندنا clause وهنا في عندنا clause. Nor إذن is one of the coordinating conjunction that joins the same structures together. Also, we have talked about the paired conjunction, both and, not only but also, either or, neither nor, whether or, and we defined the meaning of each one as well as the function. So please try to remember that these paired conjunction join the same structures together. Like the first one, both San Francisco and Sydney. So we have places, we have nouns. Japanese food is not only delicious to eat, but also beautiful to look. لاحظوا, adjective مع adjective. To eat, to look. So this is how the paired conjunctions can join the same structure. Also, we can use comparison to make parallel structure. والcomparison حكينا عنه في شفنا مثال comparative form. My school is farther than your school. My school, your school. Farther than هذه هي سياق المفاضلة أو التفضيل, هي comparative. To be rich is better to be poor. لاحظوا, infinitive مع infinitive. What is written is more easily understood than what is spoken. What is spoken and what is written. So this is how the comparison also can parallelize between two different between structures. And as you can see, the following chart outlines the use of parallel structure with comparison. Also, we have talked about adverb clause. وعرفنا أن adverb clause is a dependent clause that functions as adverb. وممكن نسأل في ممكن the adverb clause, it contains a subject and a predicate and it modifies a verb. وحكينا إنه adverb clause ممكن we ask for when, sometimes, or how, for the manner, why. Please go back to the lecture 12 in order to understand the adverb clauses and how they modify the verb. Also, we have talked about adjective clauses, and we said that it is a dependent clause that functions as an adjective and modifies a noun or a pronoun. In other words, it adds extra information about that noun or pronoun. And here we have a list of subordinating words for adjective clauses, and we have discussed most of these subordinating words in the class before the last class. Also, we have talked about noun clauses and how these noun clauses can function as a subject, direct object, and object of a prepositions. In the following charts, it's explain each one of these functions that the noun clause can act. You can also go back to the 12th class and watch the recorded class again in order to understand each one of these functions. Also, we have talked about conjunction adverbs, and we said that a conjunctive adverb is an adverb that connects two clauses. Conjunctive adverbs show cause and effect, sequence, contrast, comparatives, or other relationships. And we said that these we often use them to connect two independent clauses. Finally, we have talked about transition words. And do you remember the logical division? Do you remember the chronological order for the essay? We have actually used most of these transition signals and conjunctive adverbs in order to make a logical division for our essays or paragraph. And here is the chart. Is actually, you can find it at the index at the end of your textbook, and it summarizes, or it lists all the transition signals, the conjunctive adverbs, the coordinating conjunctive, the paired conjunctive, the subordinating conjunctions, and other adjectives and preposition or verbs conjunctions. In the last class we've talked about the uses of the comma, and we have taken some rules. We said that we put a comma between 3 or more items connected by coordinating conjunctions, and we have taken many examples. Also, we have talked about the colons. We actually explained the function of the colons, and we have actually discussed the uses of colons, like to introduce a list, to introduce a quotation, to introduce complete sentence. Okay, if a colons introduces a complete sentence, you should capitalize the first word. Lakin, if it introduces incomplete sentence, you don't capitalize the first word. وحكينا الcolons also introduces dialogue. إذا كان في هناك حوار مثلا question and answer, question, Q, colon, answer, colon. Also, we've talked about the semicolons. حكينا it's not a period, it's not a comma, it's not a full break, it's حكينا elongated pause. And we also I have given you some exercises to do at home. If you have any problem regarding the punctuations, just try to email me. For here, I just would like to thank you so much. That was a very short review for the major points that we have discussed during this semester. The purpose of this class is to summarize, just like the conclusion, to summarize the major points that we have discussed. Please, if you have any problem, just try to contact me at my email, aalmani@kfu.edu.sa. Call me, please, if you have any problem. I wish you a very interesting and very successful final test. Do your best in your all final tests, not only in the essay. Thank you so much. Wa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.